5. Psst! Hilda! Hilda woke with a start and switched on her bedside lamp. Who's there? She said. I'm one of the little people who trashed your house. Hilda's heart skipped a beat. She jumped to her feet and raised her pillow above her head. Get out! She shouted. The trashing wasn't done by me personally, said the little voice. I am more of a writer than a fighter. Did you read my note? Yes, I want us to be friends. Hilda wondered if she was dreaming. The little voice seemed to be coming from right inside her head. She poked a finger in one ear and waggled it about. Careful with that finger, cried the little voice. I'm sitting in your ear. Now, if you'll just go over to your desk, you'll find all the relevant forms. What forms? The forms that will allow you to see me. Hilda looked at the mess on her desk. Sketchbooks, pencils, coloring pens, sticky tape, monster-shaped erasers, and right there on the edge, a teetering stack of tiny papers. I've filled out most of it already, said the little voice. You just need to sign the top page. Hilda sharpened the pencil and signed on the dotted line. Good, said the voice. Now your house is officially mine. What? Just kidding, said the voice. But you should never ever sign something without reading it first, you know. Luckily for you, I am an extremely honest elf. You can see me now, by the way. Hilda went over to the mirror and looked closely at her right ear. Perched on her ear lobe was a tiny elf with a pointy red hat and pointy shoes. Name's Ulfer, said the elf, grinning. I see, said Hilda, smiling sweetly. So now that we're friends, Ulfer, there is one teeny little thing you could do for me. What's that? Go and tell your people to stop sending us horrible letters and throwing stones through our windows and smashing our vases and ripping up our books and incinerating our marshmallows and communating, cinemating, whatever. Everything we own and messing up our game of Dragon Panic, which, by the way, I would have won if you hadn't knocked the pieces off the board. Sorry, said Ulfer, but it's complicated, you see. No, it's not. Yes, it is, Ulfer insisted. Look out of the window. Hilda went to the window, drew back the curtains, and peered out across the moonlit wilderness. What she saw there made her stomach flip over inside her. The wilderness was full of miniature houses as far as the eye could see. No way, cried Hilda. She ran downstairs, taking the steps 3 at a time, and barged out of the front door without even stopping to put her boots on. The elf houses were arranged in clusters, some on the grass and some on rocks. There was a town by the blood-bog tree and another along the edge of the catfish pond. The biggest town of all was in front of Hilda's house. Twig followed her outside, wagging his tail. The deer fox could not see the elf houses and must have wondered what all the fuss was about. This is amazing. Hilda knelt down to take a closer look at the little roofs and chimneys and the tiny doors and windows. They're just like dolls' houses. They're nothing at all like dolls' houses, huffed Ulfer. Hilda stared as Twig's back leg somehow passed right through the roof of an elf house without breaking it. Amazing, she said again. Most of the windows were dark, but one still had a light on inside. Hilda picked it up and peered in through the window. An elf in a comfortable armchair was taking a sip of tea when he saw Hilda's giant eye at the window. He spat his tea across the room and fell out of his chair. Do you mind? Said Ulfer. Behavior like that will not endear you to Elfkind. And what about Elfkind's behavior? Shouted Hilda, slamming the little house back down on the grass. Marshmallows, vases, TV, or have you forgotten already? It's our new Prime Minister, Ulfer said. He promised to get rid of you if he was elected, and now he has been elected, so, well, you know. But that's not fair, shouted Hilda. My great-granddad built this cabin 100 years ago. We're allowed to live here as much as you are. Don't shout at me, Ulfer shouted back. I agree with you. Take me to the Prime Minister, Hilda said. I need to fix this quick before Mum moves us to Trollberg. Ulfer laughed in disbelief. I can't arrange a meeting with the elf Prime Minister. I wouldn't even know how. I'm a nobody. Hilda thought hard. What about the leader of this town right here? She asked, pointing at the houses in front of her. The mayor? Ulfer thought for a while. I suppose I could take you to see the mayor. Good, said Hilda. Let's go right now. Yes, let's, said Ulfer. After all, elf mayors love being woken up by blue-haired giant girls in the middle of the night. I'm being sarcastic if you hadn't noticed. Right, said Hilda. Tomorrow then, said Ulfer. He climbed down out of her ear and disappeared into the grass. Hilda sat down on the doorstep with her head in her hands. She had always loved living in the wilderness with no other houses for miles around. It was a shock to find out that there were not just other houses in the valley, but several towns within a stone's throw of her house. The grandfather clock in the hall chimed midnight. Hilda shivered. The night was chilly, and her socks were wet through. She was just about to get up and go inside when a shadow passed through the moonlight. Hilda looked up and gasped. A colossal shape loomed above her. It was bigger than her house, bigger than the blood-bog tree, bigger even than Bobble Hat Mountain. It was so gigantic that even Hilda felt dizzy just looking at it. The black shape gazed down at her from above, and its eyes were like twin stars glowing sorrowfully in the night sky. Mom, Hilda croaked, come and look at this. She was trying to shout, but her voice would not come out properly, and by the time her voice did start working again, the giant was gone. Oh dear, thought Hilda as she went inside. Mom isn't going to like any of this. 6. The next morning, Hilda talked non-stop as she spread peanut butter on her bread. Mum, I saw something strange yesterday. In fact, I didn't just see it, I fell into it. A massive footprint in the soft ground by the river. At first, I thought it was a forest giant footprint, but then I realized it was 10 times bigger than a forest giant foot, maybe 20 times bigger. That's more than enough peanut butter, Hilda, said Mum. I thought, no, that's impossible. There aren't any giants that big. But guess what? I saw it last night, just after I said goodbye to Ulfer. Too much peanut butter, said Mum. Put some of it back. Did I tell you about Ulfer? I don't think I did. He's a little person. He's helping me fix our elf problem. Mum nodded. I'm not surprised you had strange dreams last night after everything that's been happening around here. This wasn't a dream, Mum. It happened. Less talking, please, and more eating. Hilda sighed and took a bite of her bread. After breakfast, Hilda packed her adventuring satchel and went outside. Your mum isn't very clever, is she? Said a voice in her ear. Yes, she is, snapped Hilda. My mom's a graphic designer. She has hundreds of great design ideas for things. Packaging, magazines, lots of stuff. She couldn't do her job if she wasn't extremely clever, and anyway, maybe Mom's right. Maybe I was dreaming last night. I think not, said Ulfer. Take a look outside. Hilda opened the front door. The elf town was still there, a beautiful mosaic of red and yellow roofs. The mayor is waiting for you, said Ulfer. Turn a little to your left and take 12 strides forward. Hilda and Twig stalked among the houses, being careful not to step on any of them. Good, said Ulfer. Now bend down, and you'll see a flat rock with an enormous building on it. That's the town hall. Hilda knelt down. I don't see any enormous buildings. I do see a tiny building that's slightly bigger than all the other tiny buildings. Shush, hissed Ulfer. The mayor will hear you. Hilda squinted down at the steps of the town hall. On the top step stood a cross-looking elf with podgy cheeks, wearing a black top hat. Ulfer jumped out of Hilda's ear and slid down a marble column onto the top step of the town hall. Honorable Mayor, he said, bowing, may I have the pleasure of introducing you to— I know who she is, interrupted the mayor. She is the giant, the menace. We've had enough of her cruel occupation of our historic town, haven't we, Angelina? Yes, we have. Oh, yes, we have. Hilda wondered who Angelina was. Then she noticed that the mayor was carrying in his arms a fat brown cat. The cat was trying to jump out of the mayor's grasp, but the more she wriggled, the tighter he cuddled her. I'm not a menace, said Hilda. I didn't even know you existed until recently. Pure ignorance, said the mayor. You're invisible, yelled Hilda. Don't shout, said the mayor. Angelina here is pregnant, and I don't want her to be alarmed. Do I, Angelina? No, I don't. You're much too precious. Alfred, fetch Angelina's basket, will you? She doesn't look very well. Certainly, Mr. Mayor. Alfred rushed off to find the basket. Hilda tried again to reason with the mayor. Why do you have to evict us? She said. Why can't we live in peace side by side? The mayor glared up at her. There's no point talking about it, he said. The plans for your eviction have already been drawn up. Letters have been sent. Forms have been filled out. Then make new forms, cried Hilda, leaning so far forward that her hair draped across the steps of the town hall. Make new forms that say we don't have to move. It's not that simple. The mayor put his hat on the ground and shook his fist at Hilda. I can't make new forms just because I feel like it. But you're the mayor. Exactly. The mayor's cheeks wobbled as he fought to control his anger. I'm only the mayor, and the prime minister is the prime minister, and your eviction is his big idea, not mine. It's out of my hands. He glanced at his stumpy, stick-like arms. And I don't even have hands. Hilda scowled. Then I shall talk to the prime minister, she said. Where can I find him? Not telling you, said the mayor. That's classified information. Hilda drew herself up to her full height. Is that so? Yes. Alfred came out of the town hall, clutching a tiny cat basket. Where is Angelina? He asked. The mayor looked right. The mayor looked left. The mayor rolled around, whistling and cooing and making silly kissing noises in his cheeks. Then he glared accusingly at Hilda. Where's my kitty? He demanded. I'm not telling you, Hilda replied sweetly. That's classified information. Tell me, shrieked the mayor. All right, said Hilda. She's in my hair. She crawled in there at the same time that you were refusing to tell me where I can find the prime minister. Give her back. I don't know, said Hilda. She seems like a nice, quiet cat. Perhaps I'll let her live in my hair forever. Please! The mayor fell to his knees, and his top hat fell off, revealing a tiny bald head. I'm begging you. Hilda folded her arms. Where can I find the prime minister? The mayor shook his head. I will never tell you, he sobbed. Do you hear me, giant girl? I will never, ever, 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 ever. All right, I'll tell you. The prime minister's headquarters are in the caves of Kismet, behind the great waterfall. Thank you, said Hilda. That wasn't so hard, was it? She reached into her hair, gently removed the cat, which for some reason looked much thinner now, and placed her in her basket. Goodbye, Mr. Mayor. She turned and started to walk off. Wait for me! Ofer sprinted down the steps of the town hall and leaped into Hilda's sweater. May I just say, he huffed, that was the meanest thing I've ever witnessed. You're a big bully, that's what you are. Hilda was stung by Ofer's words. No one had ever called her mean before, or big, or a bully. No, I'm not, she said. I only did it because... Because what? Because I'm afraid, okay? I was born here. This valley is all I've ever known. I'd rather die than move to Trollberg. Ulfer climbed into Hilda's shoulder, swung on her earlobe, and hauled himself up into her ear. Glad to hear it, he muttered, because from what I've heard about the caves of Kismet,